cats are gone.
Cats were gone. There was a woman.
That's
who
what I thought I.
Yeah. So keep in mind, whatever you do, somebody's not going to be opposed.
Someone's not going to be happy.
Good point.
There is an effect for every cause.
We're all wet and comfortable, right? Okay, we'll call the meeting to order. Sorry.
As far as the agenda goes, we just need to delete or remove item number 4.
Because we have no public hearing.
Right, because we have no public hearing.
Okay. I make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And opposed? Let's see, item number 3, approval of the minutes. So we'll go with 3.1, August 30th, Planning Commission minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the August 30th, 2018 Planning Commission meeting minutes.
And I can second that.
I will second that.
You can second
Second.
that? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
3.2, September 6th, 2018 Planning Commission minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the September 6th, 2018 Planning Commission meeting minutes.
Okay, and I'll second that.
I had one,
Oh,
sorry,
go back up.
minor thing, and I had emailed it because the copy I read said draft, so maybe it's been updated since. But I was not at that meeting, but I was at the August 30th meeting.
Okay.
And
Oh.
Well, let's go back and look.
Oh, okay.
yeah,
So we want to amend that?
September 6th.
Yeah, September 6th is correct. I was in attendance.
You were not.
Sorry. Let me go back to the actual date so I can see it.
It looks correct on here.
Yes, September 6th is correct.
Okay. So we need to back up to the 30th.
Yes, yep.
Okay.
I was not in attendance September 6th, but I was in attendance and made comments on Thursday, August 30th.
Oh, where is this meeting?
I know those 2 weeks in a row were kind
Right, and the
of
comments,
a blur.
the comments are included properly
Yes.
in the 30th.
Yeah, it's
Is that how you see it?
The comments are correct. It's the
Attendance.
number 1 call to order.
Okay, the
It
attendance,
needs to be amended. So which one is being amended?
the 30th.
I will make a motion to accept the August 30th with the changes to add Lori's attendance.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Grand. So now we're moving on to new business. Aaron.
Do we do the 30th? Do we do the 6th?
We did the 6th. That didn't
Yes.
need to be amended, right? So we're good. All right.
And then we backtracked.
Because of me.
Yeah, that's fine. That's
2
perfectly
weeks
appropriate.
in a row. Woo.
Okay.
All right, Madam Chair, members of the commission, thank you. Tonight, we are reviewing the TIF plan for Trident Development. If you'll remember, this is the senior living facility on the current bus garage site. It's the 70 units, a mix of assisted living and memory care. So tonight, we are just reviewing the TIF plan, and the Planning Commission's role in that is to ensure that the proposed land use relates and agrees with the city's comprehensive plan and housing goals. So it's pretty easy to get pretty deep in the nitty-gritty financing information, which falls to the city council. It's the Planning Commission's just to make a resolution saying, yes, this meets the comprehensive plan and the goals of the city. Thinking a little bit about the TIF timeline, it can feel like this is a little blip in the radar. It's something that we've actually been working on for quite a while with the development team. So the process began formally on August 7th when the City Council adopted a resolution calling for a public hearing. On August 21st, written notice goes to the county commissioners for Carver County. August 31st, county and school district received the information. Tonight, September 20th, we're at the Planning Commission review for land use. And then next Monday, October 1st, the City Council will hold that public hearing that they called for on August 7th. review the TIF plan, and make a proposed motion. So this can seem like it's just something that happens for the Planning Commission just once, but it is worked collectively by the development team, the City Council, the Planning Commission, and staff. So thinking about what TIF means and the housing district, which is a little bit different than what we reviewed for the Lakeview project at the August 30th meeting. So the housing TIF basics are that the increment can be used to finance a housing project or public improvements directly related to the project. This is generally the same. The housing word is just added in there. And something that's new and unique to the housing compared to the Lakeview TIF is that the project must include occupancy in part by low to moderate income individuals. So after the presentation by Trident, they are anticipating 20% of their site will be low to moderate income, which checks this box that it's eligible for TIF. So again, the Planning Commission's role tonight is to evaluate the land use related to the project, not the detailed finances. These slides are going to look really familiar because I stole them directly from Brent at his last presentation. So thinking about TIF, if you think about the bus garage, these numbers are all hypothetical. But if you think that the city, county, and school district all collect $100 right now in tax as it stands, but with the new project, there's an opportunity to collect $1,000 or $900 in addition for the city, county, and school district. Obviously, it's a tax increase. But with the TIF plan, the city, county, and school district all go in and say, this is an economic development tool, this is important for the city. We'll continue to collect that same $100 of the current bus site as it sits. And then the tax increment captured, which is the $2,700, can be used for site improvements. So that can be anything specific to the project. So we wouldn't be able to take that money and use it for a street that's 4 blocks down. It needs to relate to the project directly. So thinking about the increment that's captured, this is where the but-for test comes in. It's the really kind of the gut reaction to a project. So without the but for the increment, if we weren't able to offer that to the project likely would not happen. So again, TIF is a good economic development tool. It aids in development costs to bring greater value to the city, the county, the school district with tax value. So again, really high level, it's just relating to the land use. So thinking about the Trident project doesn't meet our objectives and the city's comprehensive plan. I will take any and all questions.
No, I was glad to, when I was reading through the document, I did notice that there was a portion of the units that would be for low income, and that for the duration of this TIF district, those income limitations have to remain in place. They can't change over the time. And so I'd highlighted that going, ooh, this is good. I didn't realize it was a requirement of a housing TIF. So
It is,
now
yep.
it makes sense. And I assume it's pretty standard for a 25-year duration.
So that's the maximum duration of a TIF district for the housing specific. So that will be largely up to the council to talk about at their next meeting if they're comfortable with the 25 years, but that is the maximum.
Okay. Oh, I don't have any more questions. Totally fits the needs of economic development. We've been wanting this piece of property developed in this way, meeting this particular need of our community, and so it's the right use. So I think it fits. So our goal is to make sure that it conforms to our city plans for development or housing of the city as a whole. And absolutely, this fills a huge gap.
Well, it meets when we did our guiding principles, it fits that, and it fits what we updated our comprehensive plan amendment for the land use. That's what I see with it. I had a couple similar questions about the duration of the TIF. That I clarified, and then also on the financial piece of it, on whatever page that is, page 2, it does break it down specifically for low income and medium income, and the total of those two are 60%.
Correct.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
is that a requirement, or is that what they added to, is that how they wanted it to be?
So to be eligible for the TIF housing district, they do need to meet that requirement.
Of the total 60%?
Correct.
Okay. I think that's great, too.
It is.
Madam Chair and Ms. Smith, City Planner, I have some questions, and I'm just going to kind of go through the pages in the packet, because I wrote down some notes and just looking for some clarification, and I would like to see things a little more detailed in what gets presented to the City Council.
Can I ask a
Yeah.
clarifying question first? When you present to the city council, is it this presentation, or it's a much more involved financial presentation, I presume?
Yes, it will be a lot more information.
Okay.
And Springstead will likely be at the meeting too.
Okay.
They're our financial consultant, and they do a really nice job of walking everyone through it at a level that city staff might understand and the developer might understand, but also members of the public. So they'll also be at the meeting on the 1st.
Great.
And some of it, too, just for my questions, has to do with wording and getting some numbers to go with the terms. So when I look at, after the table of contents, the page 1, and some of this has to do like when you're using and or. But I feel like the TIF is really for low and moderate income. And I feel like we're really only addressing moderate income, not low.
So there are income limitations that are set for the 7-county region or the area under the Met Council. So for a family of 4 today, that's about $45,000 and some change. So those limits are set statewide. So it's not something that we are able to necessarily say, but Carver's needs to be this number. Is that helpful or hurtful?
Yeah, it would be nice to see like what
Okay.
number we need to be, just because it looks like to be eligible for TIF, you would need to have moderate and low
Sure.
income housing available. And then this is kind of a separate question I should have asked first, is for this facility, what does it take to live there? Is it an age requirement, 55 and over?
So since it's assisted living and memory care, you generally need a physician to say you're eligible to live in assisted living. So
Okay.
you couldn't go in and just say, I'd like a room. So it's generally physician-based.
Okay, so it's not age, it's more physician based on their medical
Correct.
condition
Needs.
and
Yep.
or
You
history.
need to meet an age criteria, too, as well as, I mean, it is
So
senior-
does there need to
senior
be an
housing.
age criteria? My question is, does there need to be an age criteria?
I would say that's a really fantastic question, but relating to what we're working on tonight, this
Okay.
probably isn't the right place for that discussion.
Okay,
If I remember when he was here and we were discussing it, I mean, you don't need a doctor to say you need assisted living.
Sure.
For the memory care, certainly. But anybody who, I mean, I had a mother in assisted living, and she just couldn't live by herself anymore.
I mean, usually it comes down to the physical needs of the person.
So
And
those are,
otherwise they have, I mean, anyway, that's a
but yeah,
independent
if
living,
we could
assisted
get
living, whatnot.
information on those questions
yep.
and have that ready
And that
for the
would be a great
council.
discussion, likely at like the preliminary plat phase, where the developer is here to field some of the questions.
Mm-hmm.
Tonight, it's just land use related to TIF. So I appreciate the questions. If you have a bunch and would like to send them to me so we could start tying them into preliminary plat review, that would be fantastic. But tonight is just super high-level land use.
Okay, all right. Then I'll move on, and the following page, on page 2, when it talks about senior living housing units and for them to be what I would think moderate income eligible. So 20% of the units are 50% of the county median income, and 40% is at 60% of the county median income. Is it the median income for a senior or for a Carver County citizen? And then if we could equate a dollar amount to that.
Sure. I can't give you those numbers right
Right.
now, but yeah, that's well received.
Because what I'm foreseeing is, and maybe I just need more education on this, is that someone would look to the county for vouchers to be eligible and receive that subsidy subsidized. Is that kind of same lines this would work? And just that you don't always know, because it depends year by year, who's going to be eligible or how many residents would beat the criteria and actually get a voucher. And then, because that's such a year by year thing. So then probably my next thought is I would like to see the council look at less than 25 years or just get some history, and maybe the Trident developer can give us some data on what they're doing and done in the county, because I know there's the Chaska facility. I know there's quite a few facilities. I don't know if there's more within Carver County, but I just feel like it's kind of hard to say, okay, yes, for 25 years for these, the county's, median income.
I just have so are you concerned they're not going to meet eligibility criteria financially? Is that what your concern is? Or are
Yes.
you looking the residents themselves?
The residents themselves, and I don't know enough about how somebody becomes qualified for that. So maybe that median income percentage needs to be lowered to make it for somebody at not what I would consider moderate income, but somebody that would be more defined as low income. And then just get more data on, at the county level, are they likely to have this subsidized or not?
This is based off of state data, isn't it?
Correct, yes.
Okay, and obviously median income changes annually,
It does.
so
But yeah,
I would
and the median-
presume that would be updated as we go through the process too, because we're looking at a couple years before we even hit our 25-year TIF,
Right.
right? And I believe we have at least 2+ other residences in Carver County that follow like this type of housing. Independent
yeah,
living
is-
and assisted living. And the builders who did this also did the same building of assisted living under the similar model in Chaska.
Okay, well, that's good to know.
When I clarified that with him last time he was here, that's what I remember about it. Does that help?
It does.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess just, those are kind of my comments, is I would like to see more detail
So I guess
included.
a question, I think, along those lines. So is the definition of low income to meet the TIF district 50% or less of the median income?
Yes.
That's the definition,
Yes.
statewide.
Correct.
I'm assuming. So that's the definition of low income, period, right? And so we're saying, so they're saying at least 20% of the units would have to meet that low income, and then another 40 is, I don't know if I necessarily agree with what a definition of that 60% of median income, because it doesn't seem like a lot more of the median income, right? It's an extra 10%, which
Right.
really isn't a lot probably, but there's that extra swath that at least 40% an additional are that or below. So, I mean, feasibly, all 60% of the units could, depending upon who's there, they could all meet the low end of it.
Right, because this is no greater than.
No greater
It could fall
than,
underneath
yeah.
that umbrella.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
That's how
So
I
again,
interpreted that
really
as well.
good discussion, but our discussion here is strictly land use.
Yep, understand. What else you got?
Yep.
I just feel like there's not enough information to,
To say whether
It's,
this
it's
is...
just land use.
Yep.
Does
So
this
I-
project meet our comprehensive
So I
plan?
felt that way originally when I read through it the first time, and then I reread through it, and then I made a call to clarify, like, our goal here, you know? And-
Right,
and
it's a
it
goal
is
of the
exactly
land
that.
use, right?
Yep.
How the property is developed, the units, that's all preliminary
Our
plat,
commission
final plat type
is
of
responsible for.
detailed discussion. That's not this at all.
okay.
This has to do with the tax situation of this piece of property.
Right.
Right.
And this level that we're getting into right now falls directly to the council.
And so at our meeting that we had, or the neighborhood meeting was, that was concept preliminary? What was that?
Concept.
That was concept. So we haven't even seen the preliminary plat for this. So we're going to see in much more detail next round.
Yep.
Yeah.
And more robust conversation.
Yeah, and a lot more detail, because I even went back to those planning commissions when we did the concept, and I didn't even see a lot of this detail in it about what's the definition of senior, what's the definition of, right, I didn't see that level of detail, and that's why I asked. I think that was concept. So we're gonna get a lot more.
You know, I think people don't move into assisted living other than they need it. I mean, it's not,
Right.
I'm gonna live there because I'm gonna save $5. Actually, it's generally more expensive.
It is.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm assuming if you had more income, you would hire in-home help.
Right. I would agree
So
with that.
this is more just about moving forward, learning more.
This is more about, does this
And the-
piece of property fit
The
a
land
TIF
use.
use? And so,
When we look at the comprehensive plan and the goals for the
yeah,
city. Okay.
absolutely. Goals of the city, we want senior living, we want assisted living, we want this type. Absolutely. And, you know, that piece of property, I don't think would be developed had not the city purchased it and said, hey, this is what we really want, we
Right,
want to put here. I don't think we'd get this type of
Project.
project in our city had we not driven it.
Right, and I would like to commend the city too on working towards grants, things about, because there was a lot of unanswered questions about soil condition.
Oh, yeah.
And I
Yeah.
just think they've done a great job of being resourceful for it.
Yeah.
So,
I think it fits.
That's good.
Okay.
Want to look
Anything
through your
else?
notes, make sure you're good?
Yeah.
no, you're right.
No.
No, Madam Chair, I don't have any more questions, but I appreciate the dialogue, because,
Yeah.
that's
And
kind of
understanding
some
where
of the
this fits.
pieces I
Because
was
this is
missing.
this is unique, I think. I mean, the planning commission doesn't usually see this type
Agree.
Okay.
of ask or TIF. We don't usually see this. I hope we'll be seeing more.
But yeah, otherwise, some of those numbers, if
We
those could be
developed
included
Carver,
for the
but yeah.
council, that would be
We
my
haven't seen it.
recommendation.
Sure.
Or my input.
Okay. Anything from you, Jim?
Nope.
All right, I make a motion to approve the resolution of the planning commission finding that the tax district or tax increment financing plan for tax increment financing district number 1-10 conform to the city plans for development or housing of the city as a whole.
I second that. A second. I said I did, sorry. Any further discussion? Everybody good?
Yeah.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Okay, moving on to number 6. Any kind of communications?
There's an odd sound.
What was that?
It's a new form of communication.
Oh, it's Jim. I don't know if I have any formal announcements, just a little bit of a preview of what I think is coming in October and November for upcoming meetings. In October, we'll be reviewing the fee schedule, so thinking about the fees that are charged at a city level for plan review. I foresee we're going to see Trident, the assisted living project, at the October meeting, likely for preliminary plat, rezoning, and final plat altogether. It's a pretty small site. It's one parcel, so we're working with them now on that entire application. So pending staff's comfort with their level of the plans, I suspect we'll be acting on all 3 that night. In November, I heard from Lennar recently that they are interested in Phase 3 of Oak Tree. So we've previously seen Phase 1 and 2 this year, and plans for Phase 3 are likely forthcoming in October, so I suspect they might hit the November Planning Commission meeting.
That one again?
Just north of the fire station, south of the school,
Yeah.
along Jonathan Carver Parkway.
Okay.
So those are the things that I am tracking right now. I suspect we'll get a couple more.
When was that land annexed into the city, or has it been?
It has been, I want to say it was 2016.
And the one, is it Meridian up on the,
Meridian Fields, yes.
is that being annexed now, or is that?
That's complete, yes.
Okay.
But
I will not be able to attend the October meeting.
Okay,
And November is TBD.
okay, thank you.
When is the October is, you
The
know?
20th, the 21st?
So I have it as the 18th.
That is very possible. Today's the
That
20th.
that sounds right.
I have it as the 18th. Yeah,
Okay.
I'll be out of town for that. I don't know about November. When's December's?
I know.
Oh, good, on the 20th. Okay, I'll make that one.
Anything, Courtney?
No, you guys continue to get kudos from both Aaron and I about the multiple meetings a month and just coming to work and prepared, and we appreciate it.
Great. Good? Okay, I motion to adjourn.
Oh, we have to, I'll second that.
Let's adjourn.
Let's
All
adjourn.
in favor, yay.
Yay! I hope the rain is past. I hope.
I have just to let you know, I have an article on planning coming out, I think, on the 22nd.
Where? In the Chaska Herald?